Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where today we're going to be discussing One Piece chapter 971, Sentenced to Boil. So this appears to be the true Hour of Legends, unlike last week's chapter. Let's talk about it, shall we? So I'm going to treat my reviews a little bit different now. Instead of going bit by bit, increasing the length of the review, I just thought I'd talk about key points and my thoughts about the chapter and things of that nature. So, that being said, cover page, not really interested in it. I'm quite bored of it now. It's just Gotti trying to go after Chiffon. So that's just it. It's been like that for the past 2 or 3 chapters with the crew trying to get Chiffon back from the Marines. I kind of wish they had just moved on to a different part of the story now, and we can kind of get off that topic. Now we start off with the chapter with Momo asking his mum why his food has to be, checked for poison. And she says because his father's a great man and one day it'll be up to Momo to carry this nation on his shoulders. Now, the thing about Toki is over the past couple of chapters, she hasn't really shown much expression in terms of, Odin being captured, now being sentenced to death. Now, it makes you think, can she really see into the future? Can she see up to the point of where we are in the story now, currently, to the point where, she knows Luffy's going to be there to eventually take down Kaido to open the Wano borders? Or is she the traitor and she just doesn't care? It's kind of hard to tell when it comes to Toki, because 20 years to be sent into the future is very specific. Is it because she's seeing alternate futures to the point where she sees a man similar to Roger, like Luffy, that, can fulfill Odin's wish? So that's what I have to say about that. So it would be good to see how that pans out in the future, or even if she's really dead. We don't know yet. So we get on to the execution part of the chapter, and it turns out they use oil in the pot instead. Now we get a demonstration of kind of the impact of how this oil has by, our fodder character slipping into the oil and basically dying, right? So it's at this point that we have Odin trying to plead for his and his retainers' lives, that if anyone survives a certain amount of time within the pot, will they allow them to survive? And Kaido kind of shrugs this off and laughs and states that if he can last an hour in this pot, then they will survive. So he starts to climb in, and then we have probably one of the most epic moments Odin's ever had, in my opinion, so far in this flashback, where he carries all 10 of his retainers on a wooden plank while he sits in the pot of oil being boiled and essentially dying, right, in pain, trying to save his retainers' lives. But the thing is, can he even last this hour? Because after 5 minutes, it looks, it's quite gruesome. You start to see Odin's skin being kind of filleted in a way. He starts to shear off, and he's bleeding. He's in so much pain. His retainers on the top are kind of arguing because they don't want to see their lord go through this terrible pain. And it's then at this point that the citizens of Wano, start to complain, as in, why is this taking such a long time? I was only told it was going to take a second. And at this point, Shinobi can't take it anymore. And we finally get to learn about the truth that happens in the future. But just before that, we get to see the Fukuroshi ninja being impressed by Odin's feat here, and that kind of makes me wonder whether later on down in the line in the future, during the battle and things of that nature, will they switch sides again to Momo because of what his father did, because of course they learn why Odin did what he did with the deal with Orochi and Kaido. We come to learn the events that came towards the deal, in where Orochi is explaining that because of a crime his father committed, he was sentenced to death, but subsequently the rest of his members of his family were committed to death as well, even though it was only his father that committed the crime. And this scared him so much that he wouldn't be able to sleep. Now, is this taken into the context of that, that he's literally scared to sleep because he's fearing for his life? Or is this something also to do with Blackbeard as well? So that would be quite interesting if that is a thing later on down the line, a somewhat connection there. So because of this, Orochi essentially, I initially thought, he just wanted to be shogun, he wanted to be in power, he wanted to bring Kuruzumi back to fame. But there's a little bit more to it than that. He really doesn't care. He really wants to destroy this country. And that's why he's been providing weapons to Kaido. But not only that, we find out that he's also been supplying kidnapped Wano citizens to Kaido as well, to be either tortured, sold off, or killed. Whatever Kaido sees fit, what he wants to do with this. Now this enrages Oden to such a degree he goes to attack Orochi, but Kaido blocks his path, which is quite a cool little panel, but I wish it was a bit bigger, like an impact that we had with Big Mom and Kaido. I think that would have been really cool to see. But it's then here that Orochi mentions that he's willing to make a deal. So the deal he has in mind is that if he dances every week, 100 citizens of Wano will be saved or spared, or however you want to twist it. So Oden takes up that deal. So over the course of the 5 years he's been dancing naked, he's essentially saved 26,000 citizens of Wano by doing this. But there's also another part in the deal, and that is that after 5 years they would leave after they've built their ships, i.e., Kaido and Orochi. And that's why every week he was dancing, but not only that, he was checking in onto the different regions of Wano to make sure everything was safe and they were keeping up to their end of the bargain. Of course, we know they eventually didn't when they went after Hyogoro and killed his wife and some of his men. So, over the course of this chapter, I thought it was a very good chapter. It's kind of changed my opinion on Orochi a little bit. Obviously I still see him as a piece of crap that's a weak, snivelling piece of crap. But there seems to be some motive behind there. He really doesn't care about the country. So when it comes to this war, is a similar situation gonna play itself out? Because I really can't see Luffy at this point in time, and with the strength that they currently have, to take down 2 Yonko and some of Big Mum's forces, but all of Kaido's forces. So I'm really looking forward to the next chapter, but I'm mainly looking forward to getting back to the main story now. I really hope that this flashback doesn't kind of overextend itself, and it should be wrapped up within, a couple of chapters. It's been one of the longest flashbacks we've had, I believe, in the series, and I'm itching to get back to the main action. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please feel free to give it a like and comment as to your thoughts on the chapter, and feel free to subscribe for more future content. Have the good rest of your day. Thank you very much. Bye.